So I was out seeding my food plot with this old gem. This is my original childhood four-wheeler. I started riding this before I could reach my foot onto the shifter. Basically, my dad was, when I was a little kid, I'd ride on the tank, and I would run the throttle once I got old enough to, my dad explained to me how that worked. And then I would ride with him, and he would shift, and I would run the throttle. Well, that went great until I got older and bigger. Then finally I started riding this on my own, to which case I would reach down and shift the lever because I couldn't reach it with my foot. So yeah, this thing goes way back to when I was a very little kid. I believe it's an 86 Honda Fourtrax 200 SX. I believe what it's called. I think it's an 86, but there was no title. It came with our property that we bought. My dad bought it before I was born in 93, and this came with it. So I don't actually know how old it is. I guess I could trace the VIN number, but I never really bothered. No, I did not hit the tree and cause that. My dad let a friend's son drive it when I wasn't up at the cottage when that happened, and he hit a tree. So that's really the one major blemish on the old girl. But what's amazing about these is how not cold-blooded they are. A lot of the new Hondas are so cold-blooded. My better half has a 2014 250 air-cooled, sport quad, and that thing is so cold-blooded, it is absolutely ridiculous. I had two 230cc Honda dirt bikes. They were 2007, I think. Were they 2007? No, they were newer than that. 2010s, I think. They were so unbelievably cold-blooded, it was ridiculous. This old girl definitely does have a recoil start, which is awesome. I haven't put a new battery in here yet, but I want to show you something. Let's see if it does it on command. So as long as you have that on, we're in neutral. I think we are. Let's make sure that we are. Now watch this. I'm going to pull it up to compression. Isn't that nuts? She's just a runner. And it's always been a runner. This has been just an amazing four-wheeler. Front end's been rebuilt twice. Ball joints, that kind of thing. Brakes been adjusted a couple times. Rear end got rebuilt once. Carb's been rebuilt once. And a new fuel petcock once. In all the years we've had this thing. And the rear end, like I said, has been rebuilt in a new chain, new sprockets. They were totally blown out. There was like nothing left of the teeth of the front sprocket on this thing when we did it. It was bad. But this thing has just been a gem. I love this quad. I'm way too big for it. I kind of look like a, four clowns getting out of a Volkswagen. But it is so reliable. It runs so well. It's just a gem. And it's amazing. It's only 200. But don't sleep on the little ones. This thing runs really, really well. I think this is almost as fast, if not as fast, as my better half's 2014 250 air-cooled Honda, whatever they call those things, sport quad things. This is not a slow machine, even with a big guy on it. It's got tons of gear ratio. First gear is amazing. I'm actually going to spray with this thing tomorrow. It works really well in first gear, going really, really slow. These are amazing machines. Don't knock them if you can find one cheap. I have no idea what they're worth nowadays. I mean, I'm sure this thing's worth more to me than it is, in real market because of the history with it. But I imagine you could probably pick one of these up in better condition for $800 or something like that. And I would expect something like this only worth maybe $300 or $400. But, for $300 or $400, it'll cart your butt around. It'll bring around your seed. It is an amazing machine. I do have to replace the lights. That's why the light lead is out. I have to go get a new bulb. But reverse works. Front brakes work. Parking brake works. It's amazing. It's now, oh my goodness, coming up on 40 years old. Isn't that nuts? Yeah, it's coming up on 40 years old. It's mind-blowing that it still works so well. Still original engine, never taken it apart. Never replaced the starter motor. It's all original. So I want to make a little video of some older equipment that really makes me happy. And, maybe you guys might have one. Or maybe you're into Honda Fourtraxes. If you know more about the history of this machine, I love the graphics on it. That gray with the white looks freaking sweet. And the Fourtrax and script, super duper cool. These are cool bikes. If any of you guys are really into Hondas and know more about history about these than I do, please feel free to comment. I would love to hear, number one, what you have if you're an old Honda appreciator or if you're an old quad appreciator. Let's hear about your Yamahas and the older Arctic Cats, and let's hear what you guys got. Old four-wheelers are really, really cool, and they're still extremely practical today. And obviously, it does have a new set of front tires. Those are the tires that came on it back in the 90s, at least from when we got it, those old turf tires. So those things are older than the hills. Amazingly, they still hold air. Front tires are, looking a little tired, but they still work. Take care, everyone. Hopefully you're enjoying your antiquated equipment.